So starting with the introduction, the topic is how to enter into the fund accounting industry. We'll discuss how to enter, skills required, job opportunities, various companies so we have in India, what are the presence and how far this industry would grow. To introduce myself, my name is Sami Owais, and I've been working for the fund accounting industry. I worked in various companies. I carry around close to 14 years of experience into the same industry. And currently, I'm working as an AVP in FX Fund Services. And by qualification, and I'm an MBA Finance major, and I've also completed like company secretary, intermediate level, that is executive part. Okay, moving on. First, we'll try to understand the couple of terminologies before we move to the actual topic, because understanding this is very important to understand the later slides. So first thing first is why this is something new came into the market, something we are hearing this term alternative investments into the like a market. So to briefly tell you guys, alternative investment is nothing but earlier we used to have like traditional investments like stocks, bonds, cash is always there, always existing, and people were using basic mode of exchanging or dealing with the things. So that's all those terminologies are called or considered as traditional investments. So there was a need, there was a need into the market where people have got a lot of money. They were looking for some expertise. They were looking at some avenues where they can invest, can earn large sum of money in returns, and they are ready to pay some fees for that. So that's where something alternative came to the traditional investment. That is why the term alternative came into existence. So alternative investment, what does it include? So it includes our all the fund accounting terms you hear, like private equity, hedge funds, mutual funds, and any antiques, right? Art related, any pictures you see, right? Big pictures getting sold for a big sum in some $1 million. It would be just one picture, but would be sell in a with a huge sum. So all such things would come under alternative investments. Now, if you look at the Google, right? If you Google out fund accounting, so mostly you would see that whenever people are talking about the fund accounting, they are talking about the some trust accounting, right? Trust or the some corporation or the NGOs accounting, they are considering as a fund accounting, right? So very rare cases, it will give you the fund accounting what we are talking about right now, right? So fund accounting for us to relate to this topic is nothing but it is a specialized field within the accounting, wherein all the financial transactions are dealt with for any kind of investment fund, I would say rather. Okay. So fund accounting is a special field within the accounting which deals with the financial transaction of any investment fund. When I say investment fund, it would consist of mutual fund accounting, private equity fund accounting, hedge fund accounting. So be aware whenever you are talking about fund accounting, it includes all these three set of instrument, we can say. Okay. So fund accountants are essential for keeping a financial record, maintaining that, creating or calculating the NAV value, and ensuring that we are complying with the regulations of that country where the fund is started. Okay, this is a simple definition of fund accounting. So just to summarize, any accounting for any investment fund of mutual fund or private equity fund or any hedge fund can be termed as fund accounting. So not to be confused with various other things, simple definition. So end result is what a fund accountant has to do. The expectation is he or she should be knowing or doing the accounting, and they should be responsible for booking all the transactions and making sure at the end of the day they are calculating the NAV. Okay, and ensuring that we are abiding by the compliance or rules or regulations that fund or that company has to follow. So while you book the entry, you should be aware, you should not go blindly, or you should not focus on just having the thing like booking the entry and getting away from that. You have to make sure that whatever the entry you are booking, you are answerable to that, that's get audited. Okay, that's get audited, and you should be making entries in such a way that in accordance with some rules and regulations, right? That we'll discuss in the coming slide. Okay. Now, just a moment. Okay. Okay. So what are the activities performed by a fund accountant, right? What are the activities of a fund accountant? They do in a gist we'll try to discuss. So first and foremost, an important activity is the investor activity. When I say investor activity, you need to understand the fund structure, right? There would be a fund which is initiated by any fund house. Okay. So what they do is they create a fund into the market, and that would be where people can invest. So there is a fund, and all the investors are like making the investments, and in turn they will use their expertise. The fund house would use their expertise, and in turn they will make the investment into different funds altogether. Different investment, you can call it as private companies. They can invest into any other private equity funds, hedge funds, or any other open market instruments. So when I say investor activity, so any amount coming from the like LPs or the investors, we have to book it as a subscription, and any amount going out, the redemption activity also we have to book it, and any transfer activities. What happens is some LPs or investors come, and after a certain point of time, they want to transfer it to their some other family members or friends. So in that case, we need to process the transfer activity also. So when I say portfolio activity, so it is on the other side. So just imagine a situation where you have a fund in between. On the left hand side, you have all the investors. On the right hand side, you have all the investments. In between, there is a fund. So what the first point we discussed, that was about the uh, left hand side. Left hand side, investors giving money to the fund. On the right hand side of the fund, you have portfolio activity wherein you will invest. Now you are the fund. Okay, now you are the fund, and you will make the investment somewhere, right? Using your expertise, you will make the investment. So all such thing you have to book, that would be considered as a purchase, and whenever you are selling or coming out of it, you could consider it as a sales. And you know, right, as a finance folks, we know wherever we like make the investment, you will see some realized gain is coming to us, right? That's the ultimate goal we have, right? Whenever we are like making investment, at the end of the day, you would get some realized gain or the unrealized gain if you are not selling that property or that investments. Cash reconciliation is nothing but the making sure that you are booking all the cash transactions. Okay, you are making booking all the cash transaction coming into the fund. So basically, if you look at your bank statement, right? Anybody's bank statement, you have some activities which are like inflow of the cash, some activities outflow of the cash, and some bank charges you will see. All such same things would happen in the funds bank statement also. So as a fund accountant, that's our prime responsibility, that we will book the cash reconciliation, book the cash entries, and make sure that we are reconciling cash to the what is reflecting into the bank statement. And any income earned by the fund, because they invest into the bonds and the debentures kind of securities, though, so that they earn some kind of like regular income. In that case,
Yes, sir, one question.
we have to, yeah.
When the switches activity happens in the investor activity.
Can you put it in the chat? I'll take it from there, Santosh. Okay, if you
Okay,
don't
sure.
mind. Okay, I'll take it all together. So income earned, that is the income earned. Okay, expenses, you know, right? One of the like disadvantage, if you are talking the drawbacks of any fund, right? whether it is a mutual fund, hedge fund, or the private equity. One of the drawback of somebody ask you in the interview or somewhere, you can say expenses are the big drawbacks because they charge a lot of fees. They charge administration fees, they charge legal expenses, they charge organizational expenses, they charge management fees, performance fees, whatnot. There is a big list of expenses any fund charges to the investors. Next activity, very important, comes the pricing or the valuation. Mostly this activity would be done by some other team, not by the fund accountants, but I've mentioned this is also like one of the activity wherein assume that you are investing some 1 lakh. After a certain period of time, the value either may increase or decrease, right? So how much increase, how much is decrease, what is the market value, that calculation would be done by this team. Like at certain point of time, what is the valuation of that particular investment? So this job would be done by the pricing team or the valuation team. Then one of the important uh, activity done by the fund accountant is generating the investor statements, because at the end of the day, when you invest money, right, uh, you would expect some statement also, right? Like how much was my opening balance and how much I have subscribed and how much I have redeemed, how much profit is allocated to me, how much loss is allocated to me, and what is my ending balance. So any investor, whether you or me, or the any investor which is investing into any of the like mutual fund or private equity or a hedge fund, they would be interested to know how much they are earning, because ultimate aim is to see some increment in their value, whatever they have made the investment, right? So they would expect some value increase. So that would reflect into the investor statement. That is also termed as like PCAPs, also partners capital statement. So this is very important activity, and this is a gist, like all the after doing all the activity, ultimate result or ultimate activity we have to perform is the investor activity. So this is basically after the NAV. Okay, I have to maybe I have to move this to next line. So NAV, again, NAV is the primary activity, or the calculation of the NAV is the primary activity of any fund accountant. So NAV, net asset value, is nothing but the like you have to ensure, right? You have to ensure that you need to calculate you need to book all the expenses, you need to book all the incomes, you need to perform all the investment activity, whatever the activities you are seeing above, right? Once you perform all those activities, then you are all set for your NAV. So NAV you don't have to do separately.
सब कौन कौन
Once
है
you are
पर
taking care of all the activities coming into
हाँ
the fund, okay,
तो क्या
then
है
you have to, can you put him on mute, please? Okay, so that's about the NAV and financials, preparation of financial statements. So whenever I say
Sami bhai,
financial
Sami bhai,
statement, right?
just 1 second actually. I want to ensure that no one disturb this meeting. I'm putting everyone on mute. Can you speak now, Sami bhai?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I have put everyone on mute. I request whoever want to talk, actually just put the message on chat. It will reach to host and co-host. And please don't disturb the webinar. We have seen few abusing people also have joined. So join with your name only, proper name, and follow the decorum, please. Yeah, please continue, Sami bhai.
Right, thank you. So okay, we were talking about the financials, right? So financials are very again integral part. This is the last step, I would say, in the fund accountant's life, or in terms of like we are talking about the activities. So preparation of financial statement would consist of preparation of balance sheet, preparation of income statement, preparation of cash flow statement, investor statement, that is the PCAP in a summarized format, and then the notes to financials. These are the things you always need to remember whenever we say financials. So whenever we are talking about the financials, we need to make sure that it can be performed by the fund accountant as a like a full-fledged job, or in most of the companies we are seeing nowadays, they are keeping this as a separate department. So fund accounting team is different, fund reporting team is different. So mostly this last activity of preparation of full-fledged financial statement, that is falling into the activity for the financial reporting team. But there are still certain companies where you are seeing that only one fund accountant would prepare all these things, prepare the NAV, generate the statement, and also they prepare financial statements. Any questions? You guys can put it in the chat. I'm happy to take that. I hope that is making sense. Okay, moving forward. So quickly, we'll try to understand what is the private equity and hedge funds and the mutual fund. Then we'll go to the actual topic of today. So let's start with the private equity fund. So very simple definition, private equity fund is nothing but it is a kind of fund where they pull the money from the investors, they make the investment somewhere. So it is how it is different from the mutual fund is they invest mostly into the private companies, right, which are like non-publicly traded, which are like unlisted, right, not listed on the stock exchange. So they would be directly invest into such companies, or they can invest into any other private equity firm or the fund, or they can invest into any other hedge funds or the mutual funds also. But their prime focus would be on the investing into private companies and non-publicly traded companies. Okay, and they mostly involve into like venture capitalists. When I say venture capitalists, they are nothing but the people coming up with some ideas into the market, but they don't have like enough funding to boost up their ideas, take it to the next level. So what they do, they reach out to the open market and they will look out for some big shots to invest into them, right? So private equity funds, what they do, they invest into such ideas and they will take some stakes in return, right? This is about the private equity funds. Moving on to the hedge funds. Hedge fund also have the same features, similar features, I would say, as private equity fund. But the only difference is hedge funds would invest into anywhere and everywhere, right? We were talking about private equity. We were saying private equity would focus on the private companies and the private equity funds, but hedge funds, they are very risky, they are very risk-taking fund, and they invest anywhere and everywhere. In terms of pooling money, they also pool money from the HNI clients, high net worth individuals who have a lot of sum, and they are looking for some big spike in their investment returns. So they have pretty much good risk tolerance. Such people would invest into hedge funds. So they invest into derivatives, they invest into hedgings, they do everything whatnot. They go and invest into different markets also, not only where they are domiciled. For example, they are domiciled into US, they make sure that they invest into other markets also to take the advantage. Coming to the mutual funds, I'm sure most of us already aware and have investments into the mutual fund. So mutual fund is nothing but like pooling of money from the investors, and they in turn invest into open market like equities, bonds, and short-term money market instruments, right? So all the three have the similar features if you see, with some very small kind of differences, or the different some different activities they perform. Now, coming to the actual topic, a very important topic, I would ask the participant to focus your interest here and also pass it on this information to your friends also, because there are a lot of ambiguity in the market and everybody wants to join fund accounting industry, but also we need to know what does it takes, or who can apply, who are the right set of people who are eligible to go ahead and start thinking about entering into the market. To start with, we are talking about the now qualification wise, who are eligible or who can apply. So minimum qualification is like BCom graduates, Bachelor of Commerce, and sometimes they also take for BBA graduates also. So Next is like MCOM masters into the same, and MBA graduates who have like uh, major as a finance into the MBA. There are many people who have like done their engineering, then later they jump to the MBA. And if you have like finance degree or the finance as a major subject in MBA, and you also eligible, and you can go ahead and apply. So earlier, people like companies, when they were looking at the people, or they were looking at the candidates, right? So looking at the demand, right? The demand has like increased within the past couple of years. The demand has uh, reached to the like next level kind of thing, where they need more number of people, and there are no enough people who are like have or the carrying the related experience. So for that, keeping that in mind, what the companies have done, that they have started focusing or taking people who are carrying some professional degrees. Like CMA is one degree, we used to call it as ICWA. And Evergreen, your chartered accountant, right? Chartered accountant degree, CA, what we call it as, and CFA and CPA also, they can apply for this kind of for an accounting jobs. Why they are like preferring, so first preference out of this list would be given to again CA and CMAs and last four, basically, because the company's understanding is they are the people who have gone through extensive kind of studies, extensive like training they have. These people have gone through. So and people are like, after doing some kind of hard work, they are achieving this degree. So keeping that in mind, companies give preference to these people first, then comes the other degrees. So if I have like a company's perspective, I'm saying one CA is applying, one MBA is applying, so preference would be given to the CA person first over the MBA graduates. Okay, moving on. Now, very important, I think, crux of this today's discussion. What are the skills required? See, everybody wants to join. The real question here is, can everybody really join? Or why people are failing? Why people are not getting like, not clearing the interviews? There are certain people who have been trying hard to enter into the fund industry. They keeping us, keep sending us messages that sir, we want to get into this fund accounting industry, not getting the opportunity. If at all they get the opportunity also, they are not going through the rounds, they are unable to clear. So for that thing, I would say every job, right? Every job has some requirements. So this some skill set, some qualifications, right? So we have already discussed about the qualifications. So first step is clear. You can put the check mark, right? Out of that list, if you think that you have one of the qualifications there, then first you have cleared the first level. Coming to the second level, which is like a skill, what kind of skills are required to enter this industry, or what are the expectations from the employers? These expectations are very common. Whatever the company you go for, these are the common expectation for an accountant role. So to start with good understanding of accounting concepts. People sometimes get confused, or they get surprised rather, whenever we talk about, or the interview, when we ask them the very basic things about the concept, and they would get like surprised to see such questions. Like they would say, how come like this simple question is coming? Or they were ready for something big, and questions asked are not so like advanced level. So the background is, whatever the people like who are coming for the fund accountant job, guys, please make sure that you are good at accounting first, right? When I say fund accountant, in the real sense, they are the accountants. Okay, just that certain things are different here. Certain things, certain terminologies are different here. Otherwise, if you ask me, there are around 70 to 80% of these things are remain same, whatever you have done or whatever you have read in your books, whatever you studied, right? Everything is like pretty much the same into the fund accounting industry. So that is the reason the expectation of the industry and the employer is you should be well aware of the accounting terminology, basic accounting terminologies. When I say accounting concept, it would consist of a lot of concepts we have, right? Business entity concept, accrual concept, cost concept, uh, money measurement concept. There are a lot of 10, 15 concepts and conventions we have. You should have thorough understanding of those concepts, not only knowing that, not only like reading that, but understand the essence of behind the each concept is very important. So let us take example of a uh, cost concept, right? Or money measurement concept. So we say money measurement concept. If I ask someone, they would simply can say money measurement concept is nothing but it takes all the transaction which deals with the money, right? So you should also need to understand what does it mean, like what does why this is like have put it into place. Why can't we ignore this rule, right? Ignore this concept. So we need to understand that essence, like when we are sitting and doing the accounting, right? Then if you don't have anything, if you have any such items which can't be expressed in terms of money, then it is very difficult to record the transaction. Because whenever we are recording the transaction, we have to make sure that I am putting something on debit, I am putting something on the credit side properly, and I'm making sure my balance sheet is tallying at the end of the day. So in order to make my balance sheet upright and make my financials upright, I have to make sure that I am following the money measurement concept. Similar way, you should know the idea behind any concept of accounting. Second thing is knowledge of like GAAP. So GAAP is nothing but the generally accepted accounting principle, and IFRS is international financial reporting standards, right? Uh, if you're talking about the gap, every country has a gap. Like US have their own gap, and India has their own, Australia has their own, UK has their own. So based on the country's requirement, these countries have like made the amendment into the general principles. But if you look at like as a whole, right? So you will find that it would be like pretty much the same. They are one and the same up to like 90-95%. All the rules would be same. Certain rules to suit the country's regulations or regulatory requirements, things would be changed. Certain things would be changed. That is why you will see India gap and US gap, they are termed as separately. Otherwise, 90 to 95% of the things would remain same. Ideology, idea behind each of the concepts would be same. And there are certain funds which would follow IFRS. It's a good to know standards shared by some UK, what do you call, one of the regulatory body. They have shared some standard rules which can be followed across the globe. So good to know if you have good knowledge about like GAAP and IFRS, that would have definitely advantage over the others. Moving on to the next, understanding of financial statements. This is very important for any fund accountant. Okay, when we say accountant, there may be some people who are good at accounting side, they may be good at journal entries and all, but knowing the finances is also very important, because whenever we are talking about the fund accounting, right? The ultimate activity or the final activity in any fund accounting, whether it's a mutual fund, private equity fund, or the hedge fund, at the end of the day, their last activity what they perform is the finance creation or preparation of the financial statements. As I said earlier, when I say financial statements, it would consist of income statement, that is P&L, and balance sheet, and your cash flow statement, and investor's statement, investor capital balances, and there is something called as footnotes. Guys, I want to put emphasis on this. Anybody who are really interested in knowing this, right? So take a look at the footnotes also. Footnotes are very important. It will consist of all the fund details. some, assume that there is some ABC fund into the market started. So footnotes would talk about all the things where like when this fund started and when the fund what is the policies fund is following, what is the methodologies they are following in terms of investments, what is the different methodologies they are using for management fees. Everything would be written on the notes to financial section. So it's a good to know thing. Okay. Next is relationship between different financials. So very common question again, when we ask the journal entries, right? We ask people how an entry would affect the different financials. Assume that we are talking about some audit fees. Then we would say, well, one audit fees, right? What is the impact of booking one audit fees accrual into the different financials? So you should be able to know like one audit entry, accrual entry would impact which of my financial statement, whether it will impact only my income statement, whether it will have some impact on the balance sheet and the cash flow statement also. So you should be, as a fund accountant, you should be knowing that connection, like one entry, what is the impact of into different financials. I hope I'm making sense here. You guys can put it into the chat if you guys are able to understand. I can still see your messages. It's directly coming to me, but I can still look at your messages. If you guys quickly can put it in the chat that you are good with the discussion so far. If you guys are able to understand, if you guys are open to relate, right? Just put it in the chat box. Just say yes or just confirm your understanding. Okay. So that is very important. Knowing the relationship between the different financials or the impact of one journal entry to the different financials. Next is the what are the different expenses charged by the fund, right? As we discussed already, one of the drawbacks for any fund is like they charge a lot of expenses. So you should have some list of the expenses. You can Google out and understand what are the different fees are charged for the any fund, any investment fund, and what are the different fees which are specific to a specific fund. There can be some fees which are related to some only private equity fund, okay, which are not applicable to the mutual fund. There can be some fees which are applicable to only hedge funds, which are not related to any other different instruments, right? So you should be knowing all the expenses. As I told you, as an example, common expenses would be admin expenses, legal expenses would be there, organizational expenses would be there, management fees would be there, syndication cost, whatnot. There is a big list. Okay. Moving on to the very important topic, guys, comprehensive of knowledge of journal entries. Journal entries are the crux of any fund accountant life. If you don't know the journal entries, then you should be knowing it if you really want to enter this market. Without journal entries, you can't survive into the fund accounting industry. If you are looking for some core fund accounting job, then and you want to excel into this industry, then definitely you should have a good understanding, strong understanding rather, of the journal entries. Okay, not just you are able to tell the journal entries, you should be telling, also knowing the purpose or the reason behind those journal entries. Like if you're debiting something, why you are debiting something, crediting something, why you have, what logic you are applying, what is the principles you are following for debiting something or crediting something. That level of journal entries you should be knowing, and that is something very if you brush up your basics, what you have learned in your college days, right? That would be more than enough. Or get in touch with the people who are working into the finance industry. They can help you with these entries also. And they are, I am telling you again, whatever we have like listed down these topics, right? They are not rocket science. They are very easy. Just it requires your some time and the commitment and some kind of like dedication from your side and some kind of seriousness, I would say. Then these topics are like very, 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 very easy things. Knowledge of derivatives. So as I know, in Hyderabad, at least the people like who are doing MBAs, mostly they know about the derivatives. BCom level, I don't think so they have right now, but it's good to know information. Good to know about the derivatives. So there are a lot of instrument when I call it something as derivatives, right? It is like forwards. We have forwards, futures, we have options, we have swaps. So these are the four major topics within the derivatives, and there are certain companies or the certain interviewers would focus on this topic as well. Reconciliation is another thing you should be knowing, or like how to match the things, right? The more you have a grasp on that, the better it is, right? So reconciliation is nothing but you have certain set of transaction into your bank statement, okay, and you are booking some entries into your system, whatever the software you are using. So at the end of the day, it will not be easy in the life of the fund accountants that everything would match like ABC kind of. It won't be like easy match. Some certain times you need to use your skill set. You have to use your brains to match certain transactions. So reconciliation is also very important. If somebody is working already into the like reconciliation department, that would be an added advantage when you guys like move to the fund accounting department. If somebody is not doing, they can get in touch with the people who are working into the reconciliation and take tips from them. And most of the NAVs are prepared using Excels. Excel is an like integral part of our lives, fund accountant's life. So escaping Excel is like there is no way out. There is no option to escape Excel and get it into this industry. So the more you know about the Excel, the better it is. You can do wonders. Just let me tell you, you can do wonders if you are a master of Excel. The more you know about Excel, the more functions you are aware of Excel, then you can really excel into this field. So any freshers listening to me, any working professionals also listening to me, make sure that if you really want to like go to the next level, then playing with the data or making things easier for your respective funds would definitely add value to your career into fund accounting. So Excel is something really good to know. And the more you know about the Excel formulas and functions, the more like visibility you will have into your companies. So this is to be highlighted. This is to be like written in your books and start like getting next level into your Excel skills. I'll take a pause here and wait for any questions you guys have. Just put it in the chat box. Or you can say all okay if you guys are able to understand whatever have been discussed. Shoaib, can I see all the messages, right?
Yes, you can see all the messages. Do you want me
Okay.
to unmute them now since we are reaching end of the webinar?
I have a couple of slides very quickly. I'll take
Yeah,
them
after
through.
that we can unmute everyone
Yeah.
and they can directly talk to you.
Okay.
Okay.
I have one question here. Somebody is asking, what is the expectation from a fresher? Fresher, these are all the things we are discussing about pretty much. So question from Gautam. So Gautam, expectation fresher is whatever the topics we are discussing, right? These are for the freshers. So you need to be a good, if you really want to be a good fund accountant. So be good in these topics. I'll assure you will get a job if you are aware of these topics, whatever we have discussed. Just go to like thorough understanding of the like journal entries, and know about the fund structure, and know about the private equity, hedge funds, and mutual funds as a different funds, right? So the more you know about that, the more value added would be there for you into the interview. Is there any difference on journal entries for private equity? Very good question. So one of the question is there any difference between the journal entries of mutual funds, private equity fund, and hedge funds? Let me tell you very frankly, if you are aware and very good at your basic journal entries, right, then you can crack any journal entries in any of those funds. The underlying logic, the underlying principle which we used to follow, right, the golden rules, debit the receiver, credit the giver, that would remain same for all the kind of accounting. Just that make sure that you are good at in the journal entries with the basic knowledge, basic background, basic principles of it. Then that is more than enough for you. And there are no bifurcation, just the different terminologies would be used, but otherwise the entries are one on the pretty much the similar entries we have in all the three set of funds. What kind of skills required in Excel? The more you know, more better it is, right? Like starting with VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, if formulas, pivot table, whatnot. If you are able to write the macros and integrate with the systems you are working, right, then that nothing like that. So basic expectation is knowing VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and pivot table, if formulas, some formulas, right? Basic things. The more you know about all these things, the better it is for you. Partner capital preparation. Partner capital is nothing but the assume a situation where you are investing into a mutual fund, right? So what would be your expectation? At the end of like every month, you would expect a statement, right? Like what was my closing balance into the like previous month, and that becomes my opening balance. And any subscriptions you do, like any more additions you have done to your investment, right, that would get added, and any redemptions you have take, that would get reduced, and any P&L would be allocated to you. Any like profit would be added, and expenses would be deducted, and at the end of the day you will see your ending capital balance. So that is the simple definition of the partner capital statement. Learn journal entries advanced level. You need to practice, that's the only way. And you can Google out some quizzes on the journal entries. There are a lot of websites which are offering that at free of cost, of course. You can go through that. Okay, this question is if anyone joins private equity company, will provide initial process training. Okay, very interesting question. So if you join a private equity company, join a hedge fund or the mutual fund, anything, basic training would be given to you. Depends on the company, what kind of training structure they have. Training would be provided. There are certain companies which would give you training of just 1 week and you start your work. And there are certain companies, they would give you some ample of time, 3 to 4 weeks also. They give extensive training and they will put it into your live environment. The only thing is here to note here is your curiosity. Whenever some kind of training is given, right, you should be very curious enough and take advantage of it, take most of it, right? Ask the trainer everything you are going through your mind, right? Don't wait that people would give you the spoon feeding. I'm just using this word, okay? You have to put it your efforts also. When I say your efforts, you don't have to just depend on the training which is provided. Apart from the process training which you are given as a fresher or the experienced person, right, you have to put it in extra efforts. So initially when you are like entering into the industry, and assume that you have joined some job and the opportunity is given to you, make sure that you are spending some time other than your 9 hours, whatever you are spending in your job. Make sure that you are investing and getting to know more about the funds, kind of funds your company is dealing with. Try to understand your process by spending some more time. There would be a lot of SOPs would be saved, right? Standard operating procedures kind of documents, like how to do this fund and what kind of like instrument have. All the details would be given, or a lot of documents would be saved in every company. Make sure that if you're able to do that in your within a given time of 8 hours, if not, then make sure that you are also spending some additional time on over the weekends or on the same day in the morning. Your timing is like 2 o'clock is your login. Make sure that you're logging early and putting extra efforts, right? If you really want to excel, you need to put some extra efforts in terms of like understanding. If your understanding is good, then you will see that how you can easily grow into the market. Okay, I'm moving to the next slide. Other skills I've also just written down, because not only having like these technical skills would have help, uh, other skills also good to have skills which would definitely make you different from the other interview like members, right? Attention to detail, you should be very attentive if you really want to join, you have to be like kind of a multitasking person in order to be a fund accountant, because a lot of communications you need to follow. You have to keep a close eye onto the emails and the various communications happening. So you need to be like person who is giving attention to the detail. And you should have an attitude of problem solving person, right? A very other day, we see that we get into a situation where we will got into a situation where we have the deadlines in place and we have to make sure that we have to come out of it. So we do not have to be a person who is talking about the problems. So this industry expectation is the industry needs problem solvers, not the problems creators, right? So as a fund accountant, you should be a problem solver and think about the getting answers to the issues rather than saying or sticking to the question. Just you are reluctant that, okay, boss, this system is not working and I can't do anything. That is not the expectation. The expectation is you have to look out all the other ways, all the other 100 ways which are available. Go to the Google and ask if you are not getting answered. So problem solving skills and giving like your analytical mind is very important into this industry, right? Otherwise, you won't be competitive enough when compared to others, because other person is putting all his mind and you are just sitting, and the problem is you are facing some problem and you are stuck there. You are not going beyond, above and beyond, and taking some decisions there. Then you would be lagging behind. The other person would win the race. Time management is very important. Every other day we struggle with this problem, and you must have heard, right? In this industry, uh, demands time, right? Because there are certain things client needs in a particular format, then they don't compromise in that. And on the other hand, you don't have the system which is accommodating their needs. In that case, you need to follow up with the different teams, right? You have to chase them, and on the other hand, the other people would be following with up. Then you need to make sure that you are planning in such a way that at the end of the day, things are delivered on time. Communication skills for like any other job, the more refined your communication is. When I say communication skills, it is not only like in terms of communicating verbally, it is also how you write the emails, right? Because we deal with the people who are sitting in US or the different all around the world, right? So people they are the native speakers, right? And they are the people who are like highly qualified, and they are at the high designations, right? So we should be knowing what kind of words we are using, and we should be knowing like what kind of like behavior we have to put, or the what kind of right words we need to use when we are communicating with them, right? In terms of like not only verbally and on the emails also. So communication, keep improving the communication. If you really want to grow and go to the like next levels, then communication is very important because you need to understand what are their expectations are. If you have the good communication, then only you can understand and you can put up your issues also in front of them. Adaptability and flexibility, guys, this is not a cup of tea of everyone. If you think that only like a 9 to 6 job or the 8 hours, 9 hours job would fulfill the requirement, then this is not for you. I'm not scaring you, but I'm telling you the industry expectation. Uh, People every other day I see a lot of messages. People are looking out for the jobs. They are changing jobs within like 1 year. I ask them like why they are changing, and their answer is we are like make to work for like 10 hours or so. That is the industry expectation, and unless you are performing or giving your deliverables, there is no time limit, right? So when this industry gives you the opportunity, handsome packages, handsome opportunities over other industry, then they also expect you to be flexible, right? And adaptable to the different situation. There are scenarios where we work on the weekends and we known to work for like long hours in our usual life. Not to scare you guys, but I'm telling you the what is like actual expectation. There can be instances, not every time you have to stretch, but whenever there are deliverables, that is pretty much expected out of you. Teamwork and collaboration, because you are the not only person in most of the times would be working in these things. There you need to collaborate with the different teams or within the teams, and also you need to work with the clients directly sometimes. So you need to be person who gel up with people easily. No isolations here, no IC roles most of the time. Most of the time you need to work with the team. So you need to be a good team player. If you are not, then start working with the teams. Okay. Critical thinking and decision making is very important. There are certain times where you need to apply your skill set, apply your whatever you have for qualification and experience, right? You need to apply your mind for treating some item, right? There is some entry has come which has you have never booked into your system, and you're asking your seniors also, they also like not aware of any such entry. Then you have to use your mind and apply your all these skills, and you have to make sure that you are taking some decision there, right? And there can be certain situation to prove you like to tell you about critical thinking, right? There can be a situation where you need to do like 1 2 3 4 tasks, and everything is like important. So at that point of time, you as a fund accountant, it's your responsibility to take the decisions which is the activity you need to prioritize. So you need to take the decision, and you need to communicate that well to your counterparts, that boss, these are the four things you are expecting from me, and as a matter of priority, looking at the like this situation, I would say I will give you this B first, then C, then D, then A. In this order I am going to give you. Are you okay with this approach? If they understand your logic and the plan, then definitely they would agree with you. Continuous learning and improvement, there is no escape in terms of learning. I've completed almost 14 years into this industry, and every day I'm saying, not a single day pass by I learn any new topic or any new scenario I come across. So this is a positive thing, I would say. You need to keep that attitude of learning continuously rather than having like a monotonous job, and you need to keep improve. You have that mindset whenever you are joining, right? Have that mindset where you are improving the process. Don't stick like this is done in such a way by following some process or the procedure. Don't stick yourself there. Rather come out with the new ways. Okay. Question the process always. Question the like why it can be not done in the other way. So always keep that attitude. Moving on, I think we are close to the time. I quickly run through a couple of slides I have where I'm talking about some company names. So these are some top players globally I'm talking about now. These are the top private equity. Sorry, I'm just focusing on the private equity. I being into the private equity world. So my focus into the private equity. They do have hedge funds also, Maybe mutual funds, I'm not aware, but these are the big private equity players globally: Blackstone, KKR, CVC, Carlyle, Thoma Equity, and whatnot. There's a big list. These are some top I have picked to show you guys. Now, interesting thing is like, what are the like private equity companies which are already into the like India? So these are like, when you are looking at this list, right? These are the like some famous companies. You might be surprised to see some names, but where you have not seen any opening so far, right? But they are the companies which are existing mostly into the like Mumbai, and they don't have like mass setup here. They don't have like many kind of people working there, but they do have the presence here into like India. Any questions? You guys put it in the chat or keep it with you. I'll allow you to unmute in another couple of minutes. Ask questions which are only related. Don't ask anything and everything. Okay. Okay, so these are the domestic companies. This was again, I was like surprised to see some good names. There's a big list again, where we have some Indian companies who have started like private equity funds. Okay. You can see the names here: Kotak, Cyrus, Not, True Knots, Motilal, and there is a list. Okay. So these are the like companies which have like already floated private equity fund, their private equity fund within India. So if any of you have like a lot of money, want to invest, they can go ahead with invest into private equity. And why not everybody can invest, right? Mostly high net worth individuals would make investment into the private equity companies because their shares per share would be very costly, and it would be in lakhs, unlike your mutual fund where you can start your journey with as good as 500 or 1000 rupees. So private equity funds and hedge funds, they have like minimum requirement, or the minimum investment, it would be like very, very high. This I collected for like Hyderabad region. These are the certain companies in Hyderabad. You can add to the list. I for accounting companies in Hyderabad, and there are many to add if I'm considering Bangalore, Mumbai. So the previous list, right? This is a list you can take and considered as the companies in India, and also plus this, and we are expecting, right? This industry is expected to grow rapidly and widely. There are a lot of positions going to come. Okay, now before I go to the last slide, this is for you guys. Why fund accounting? Why we are talking about this? Why there is a discussion? Why this is considered as like a hot topic into the market? First of all, we all work for the companies for the sake of like our salaries, right? Getting a good packages. So this is an industry which can offer you some really big salaries, big packages, right? Which every salaried person would look out for. So this is an industry which has like a lot of money, I would say, for the people, for the right people. Rapid growth, and see, as a professionals, we always look out for two things, right? Majorly, first is like good packages and growth also. So this is the industry which is offering great growth also for the people. People are getting promoted very rapidly. Those who are performing, they are seeing some good growth into this industry, and there are big offerings happening to them. Ample of opportunities, as I mentioned, we have seen the list already, and there are we are expecting some more companies would be like joining or coming to India. So there is a big growth we are seeing in terms of like companies coming to India. Opportunities also there to move abroad now. There are certain companies through which people are going abroad also. So earlier it was there for the IT industry. Now this having the fund accounting industry in India, which is offering once you complete certain period of time, there are certain companies which are like giving you options to move to some foreign countries like US, Canada, Australia kind of. Core accounting job, yes, you always look out for, right? People complain most of the time that they are not into the job. Their job is monotonous. There are no learnings. So on the other hand, fund accounting is a core accounting job. You daily basis, you discuss the general accounting, you discuss the accounting terminologies each day, right? So you are not away from your degree, whatever the degree you have done, you are like doing the job on the same field and you feel good about it. Constant learning and knowledge base, looking at the like kind of activities we perform, there is a learning every day, and that you will find that after a certain period of time, you have certain knowledge base collected, and there are a lot of new things you have learned. So each year passes and you will see that there is a increment in your knowledge. Job stability is there because the requirement is very huge and the companies are like focusing to come to India. So there are a lot of job stability also there with subject to conditions. High potential of industry growth. Yes, companies are like many companies are already there and offering and this industry is expected to grow again, and a lot of jobs are going to come in the coming days also. Okay, so so only the things required, we have seen the skill sets required, we have seen the qualifications. Those are the things, those are the topics you need to work on to excel into this industry. Shoaib, you can unmute, allow them to unmute themselves so they can ask or put it in the chat if you guys have any questions.
Okay.
So I'm seeing one common question here. People are asking like they have certain number of experience, years of experience into the industry, and they want to switch. For all the people who are experienced, right, they are carrying whatever the range of experience it is, whether it is 2 years, 4 years, 10 years. Opportunities would be very less. Okay, for opportunities would be very less, but there would be opportunities, and you would get very rare opportunities. And whenever you get the opportunities, right, you need to make sure that you're grabbing it. Right, assume somebody has put it in like I have 10 years of experience into some insurance industry. So for such people, right, who are carrying some good number of experience into other process, now they want to jump. So whenever you get the opportunity, right, you have to make sure that you are very strong into these topics, into the topics which we have discussed. You should be a master in the journal entries, right? You should be knowing the accounting concepts very well. Let me tell you, like keeping in mind that you want to enter into the industry, having a dream is not enough. Everybody can dream, right? There is no restrictions, but also there are certain requirements which there is an industry demand. For a person like who are carrying like 5 years, 10 years of experience, they can't give you a fresher position, right? So they have to take you and make you sit into some senior role, or at least like team leader role. So the expectation from the team leader is they should, or the senior is they should take care of their job well. They have to take care of the job of the your juniors also, and you are answerable ultimately to the management also. So if you assume that if you don't have the clarity on the concept, if you are not good at the accounting, then how you, survival would be very difficult. So that is the reason we emphasize on the point that you should be well aware of the concept, well aware of the journal entries or whatever. The go through the description also, job description, right? Usually the fund accountant jobs would be there, right? They share the JD, job description. Just read that. Read that, like what are the requirements they have. If you have all those things, they are mentioning like 10 points and you have 8 and 8 plus, then you can start thinking that you are the right person for this job. I hope I have answered that question.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Actually, I have a little doubt that private equity and FPA profile is same or different?